Hey there guys, Spazzy Dragon here, aka Syntrems, and welcome to this, very strange video. I don't usually do kind of unscripted videos like this, or narration videos like this, but you have to see this. So, if you have been subscribed to my channel because of Avorion, then you probably already know that I have mentioned a few times before that I never really got into, games like Space Engineers, and even games like, Empyrean Galactic Evolved, it really didn't catch me all that much. But this is something new. This is called Starbase, and it's published by a developer called Frozenbyte. Frozenbyte, for lack of a better word, is only known for the what was it called? Trine series? I don't know, but they just put out what is essentially Avorion meets EvE Online, because they have put out a massive multiplayer online voxel-based builder who's one of the primary things that I've seen so far. You can currently see me playing the tutorial, is a completely amazingly done destruction physics. So right now, the tutorial is having you kind of work in a space shipyard of sorts, and you're kind of disassembling these vehicles as the game teaches you how the mechanics works in terms of ship building. This kind of doubles, you kind of get to see how people usually build these ships, and also how they take damage. And, yeah, over here you just see me using a frickin' laser to literally cut a ship in half. The destruction mechanics in this ship is, in this game, is thoroughly interesting indeed. And also, yeah, this is just footage of me using the riveting tool to unrivet items and just kind of remove them as you go. If you're wondering why they're sliding towards the left, that's because there is this sort of like a collection chute over there, and that's basically just pulling them in. But yeah, so far, this game has just gone out right now. As far as I know, it doesn't really have a lot of good ratings on it because of some severe problems with it. It is pure alpha stage material right now, but from what I've seen, it's pretty amazing. Just look at this footage of me doing asteroid mining. Okay, so again, it's floating away simply because there's this collection area, so it doesn't, jam up the place. But the mining itself is kind of interesting because, unlike in Avorion, where you kind of see these asteroids and rocks and such, you can tell that they're made from geometric shapes, very uncomplex ones, like the ones that you can actually make in the build tool. Now, this is not the case here. Not only all of the items are heavily detailed in a very extreme sense, but also all of them are subject to highly detailed destruction physics. So every single part of the ship, you'll actually notice in the moment where I have footage of me using the repair tool. So it currently says view blueprints of the ship, and it's kind of like a pop-up thing in your wrist display. You actually see what kind of things are broken on your vehicle and what needs to be fixing. And you'll notice in a moment that every single block, there's no uniform blocks. It's a voxel-based game, but the blocks are completely different sizes and you can place them whenever. And that allows the game, as you can see, have kind of these multi-layered parts, which means that you have very detailed destruction physics. And yeah, I suppose this game will be very familiar in sense of the overall gist, as, for someone who's played Space Engineers. I personally haven't. I cannot comment how close these games are in terms of mechanics, but, well, there you go. And, yeah, this is just the first 10 minutes of me trying this game, and honestly, for what it is right now, for 30 bucks on Steam, I don't know. I would say that this thing is going to be playable in about a month, maybe? Because right now, it is struggling with certain problems. over here we see me doing one of the first missions where I had to go to the nearby asteroid belt in my ship that is very, very basic. It's basically a junk ship. And I had to go and find asteroids to mine in the same way that you did in the tutorial. And you see me tethered to the ship. That's basically it. The only thing that it does, it allows me to deposit any harvested resources directly into the ship. Usually it would go into your kind of a backpack that you can need to, you know, transfer back into the ship, but this tether kind of allows you to avoid doing that. The way that this works is, unlike Avorion where you have different materials for different types of things, here you have just the regular kind of survival tactics sort of thing where you have to craft your, you know, blocks out of existing materials, and, you know, every single block has its own kind of material. And that's basically it. I must admit that this mining mechanic that you have is just amazingly satisfying to do, simply because of the way that this thing is, you know, functioning. Like, you can break up all these things like that. And, yeah, this is really as far as I got in terms of gameplay, because I had a PlanetSide 2 op coming up, so I had to kind of cut my first experience short. But yeah, this is basically how it is. Once you have gotten all of your resources, you can go to the local space station and just grab yourself the parts that you need to build. I have not finished the tutorial just yet. I have not set myself out in the game world, but yeah, basically that's it. Now, one of the outstanding features that they have promised is the idea that this is going to be kind of like EVE Online, so this is in terms of how the game operates, I guess in terms of server rules and the player conduct, which is worrying, kind of in a good way, because yeah, EVE Online is certainly an experience when it comes to how a player population kind of manages its own rule set. But also in terms of economics. So all of the player economy is going to be player driven, from what I can tell, for better or for worse. And yeah, basically that. Needless to say, I'm going to keep this thing installed. I'm going to see where it actually goes and if it makes for an interesting Let's Play material. But overall, this is an MMO. When you start off, you kind of get to pick a haven or a station, and at first I thought it was just basically, you know, you're picking a server, but no, as you undock and you start flying towards your first waypoint, you can, your first mission, which is, you know, mine some resources, you can actually see all of the other, you know, stations that are actually very close nearby. And so, yeah, the current player population wasn't in fact enough to basically kill the servers for a while, and that's why the game is currently having some, you know, mixed reviews. There's also a lot of bugs, and that's to be expected from, you know, a alpha game. Again, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to revisit this thing in about a month after it gets fixed and patched to, you know, whatever degree they have the ability. I really want to... As you can see, like, I really want to see a voxel-based shipbuilder where I can actually lay out all these ship systems. Like, it's not just like in Avorion where you place down the blocks, you can resize them, etc, etc. Now, like, you have to physically connect these blocks. I highly suggest you just take a look at some of the stock footage you'll find on the Steam page. There's a lot of videos about it. You have to kind of connect every single item with the main of the ship. You have to kind of route all of the pipelines and cables, and it looks complex enough in a good way, so it kind of does appeal to me. I will personally watch and keep track of this project, but yeah, until then, until I figure out how interesting this will be for a video, I'm just going to stick to Avorion. But I thought I would in fact share this with you if you are watching my channel because of Avorion and not, you know, Freelancer or something. And if you're looking for a space-orientated multiplayer game, then yeah, give Starbase a try, and I'll see you later, guys. This is Fancy Dragon, aka Syndrems, Fly safe.